What's up everyone, Jacob Wheeler here, going to go through one of my favorite techniques for targeting smallmouth bass. I mean, listen, there's tons of things you can throw for smallmouth. You can throw, you got hair jigs, you got so many different finesse tactics, wacky worms, and this is more so when the fish are up shallow, whether they're spawning, they're cruising. This is one of my favorite little techniques that I've sort of learned from some of my buddies up north, and I want to show it to you. So, you might have heard of the Tokyo rig, and the Tokyo rig is sort of a unique concept, and I'll bring one out here in a second and show you. But basically, you put your weight towards this little metal cable deal here, you turn it elevates your bait a little bit more, similar to a drop shot, but it's a little bit more bulky and clanky. So, now, with that being said, VMC has come out with a new Tokyo rig with a new hook. It's the Tokyo rig Finesse Neko hook. Okay, now this thing right here allows me to Texas rig soft plastics, but what I do with it is a little bit different, especially when they're up shallow. So let me show you real quick here. All right, so the first thing you have to do is pull your Tokyo rig out of the package. This is the Finesse Neko version. I have a big box of Tokyo rigs from all different sizes, just in this little box right here, just tons of different hook sizes, different applications that I use for different fish. But the Finesse Neko is really my selection, or what I'm gonna select for smallmouth specifically. Next, you're gonna figure out you have to pick a weight. Now, you can use a typical like flipping weight, like this guy right here, little typical flipping weight. But for me personally, I really like this slider weight, okay? This right here, this like tungsten slider weight, it sort of goes through everything, rock, grass, wood, does a really good job, it's very versatile. So you don't have to pick this up, you can use a typical whatever you want to, but this is just one single slider weight. I'll pull them out, this is a ½ ounce. Pull them out of here real quick. And it's sort of like an old school Mojo weight, if you will, or Carolina egg weight or whatever. Get him out. Now all you do is you put this guy on, put him on that little wire right there, you grab your pair of pliers, and you just crimp him a little bit. You don't really have to go too crazy. Sometimes you can turn him all the way upside down, but if you're wanting to change your bait out or your weight out every once in a while with the same rig, you're gonna have to, you don't really wanna bend him all the way around. So that's what I do. So that's the setup right there, ½ ounce. I can throw this on a bait caster. I'll throw a little bit lighter one if I'm trying to throw on a spinner rod, like a 3/16 or a quarter. And you can just use a regular bullet sinker for that. Next, okay, next thing is picking the bait that you're going to throw on this rig. Now, the cool thing about this, and this is why I think it's such a good smallmouth bait, is this weight is kicking up a lot of dirt and silt. And then when those smallmouth see that, and then you have, it's almost like a drop shot, if you will, but then you have this little, whatever bait you're gonna put on this, it's sort of staying up, elevated up off the bottom, so it's out of all that dust and all that stuff. So, one thing that I really like throwing is, this is a Guggen Baits Rattle and Ned. You can see I have a lot of them right here. Just something natural. Colors really just depend on what you like. But what I like to do is two different things. So one, I actually like to hook this guy wacky style, okay? And I can sit there and shake it. Now that rattle really, I mean, those smallmouth hate that sound. And then you have this weight hitting the bottom, that little wacky style, man, it can absolutely crush them. You can throw other like 4-inch little wacky worms and upsize it, but I like that, especially for them smallmouth, when I can pitch it in front of them. It keeps them there, I can just shake it, that weight's sitting there, and it really just jiggles and everything else. So the next way to rig this, and this is the way I rig it a lot of times, especially if, say, they're on a bed or anything else, I'm just going to Texas rig this, well, not really, I'm just going to thread it on. So you could Texas rig this if you're in weeds or anything like that. But I'm going to thread this on. This Finesse Neko hook is one of the best hookup ratios as far as a hook as it's been ever made, in my opinion. So, very simple. You're just gonna, what I like to do is I like to look at it and say, okay, hey, this hook is gonna come out about, 2 sections above, or about midway through the body. So I'm gonna go ahead and thread him. One thing that I will do sometimes is put a little super glue on it to hold it on. But the cool thing about this Finesse Neko is it has a little leader there to where it locks your soft plastics in place. It can help with a little bit of super glue to even lock it in even more, but it's definitely gonna lock it in. So now I got this guy sitting there and he's still elevated rather than like Texas rigging it or drop shotting it. This is sort of a beefed up rig for those smallmouth. If they say they're on a bed, and you want to crack them, I can throw 14-pound line right here and boat flip them and get them in the boat quicker. Rather than getting a 4 or 5 or 6 pound smallmouth on spinning rod. On a spinning rod or 8-pound line, light tackle, this is sort of a nicer setup. So that is sort of my setup right there. It is a Finesse Neko combination. The Tokyo rig in general is a very versatile technique and something you definitely want to add to your tackle box. Maybe check it out this summer. Hopefully this tip helps you guys out. We'll see y'all next time.